It's a Monday morning, which means I am joined by Millie to talk all things navigating adulthood.
Join us, two girls in our 20s, as we muddle through life and try and figure out what being an adult really means.
You can find us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts and YouTube. Please do give us a follow and check out our socials at No Longer Legally Detained.
Today we are doing something which is... not doing. Today we are...
Today we're doing something.
Today we are diving into something which is already the bane of my existence. I've already shouted.
Do you know what's the bane of my existence?
What?
Where are my bloody notes for this episode?
Right, now we're going to have to put an explicit warning on this. Because you've used... Wait, we're going to anyway, actually. It's about food.
What? Bloody? Do you have to put an explicit warning?
On any swear words, Millie.
But bloody's not really a swear word, is it?
Well, I'm afraid...
Well, here's something that Hannah doesn't know. I said bloody in the last episode that I told her not to put an explicit warning on.
Right, and now I'm going to end up in court.
You're not going to end up in court.
I am, and I'm going to have to defy gravity and fly off on my little broomstick. Defying gravity.
We saw Wicked last night.
We did.
Loved it. Realised, basically, just Hannah's life.
Yeah.
Apart from she's not green, she can't fly, she's not a witch, but...
Or am I? Maybe new year, new me. I'm a green witch. I want to be pink, though.
Yeah, that was the main issue that we saw there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Because, anyway, we're moving on.
I found my notes.
Right, okay, amazing. Right, should we start then? Actually, no, because I've got to read this. This is my introduction.
Okay.
Formal. Oh, bear with. Today we are diving into something which is already the bane of my existence, and that's already too common around this time of year. The obsession with...
weight and bodies.
You've gone very close to the microphone.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, it is...
Yeah. Look at your... Yeah, but look.
I'm feeling spicy. I'm making it really loud because Millie said I wasn't as loud. It is no surprise that with the new year comes a flood of conversations, advertisements, and social media posts about body transformation, diets, and how we should look. But here's the problem. We talk about our bodies and other people's bodies constantly. And that is something that, quite frankly, needs to stop. Everywhere you look...
How long is this introduction?
It's really... We've got to give some, factual facts before we start rambling.
Okay.
I only said ramping. That sounded really wrong. Everywhere you look, the conversation seems to revolve around weight. Whether it's new year, new you, fitness goals, or just a casual chit-chat around how much someone ate during the holidays. We are surrounded by messages that reinforce the idea that our worth is somehow tied to our outer appearance. And that pressure doesn't go away just because the new year changes. In fact, it ramps up even more. The reality is that for a lot of people, especially content warning, those with eating disorders, the constant talk about bodies and weight can be incredibly harmful. It feeds into a culture that equates self-worth with size, and that is a toxic cycle we need to break. Let's be clear, the focus on weight often overshadows the more important
Sorry,
things.
How long is it? Where am I looking here?
I'm nearly done. The things that should truly define us is our happiness, the inside package. I think we'll cut this bit out.
And that's the end of the episode. Well done. Goodbye.
Okay, so basically, you'll have to edit a bit of that. But we're talking about weight and body.
Yeah, we'll just edit it all out.
Don't edit it all out. Really, that'll make me sad in my body. Inside my body.
You don't listen to them anyway.
That is actually correct. I can't listen to my own voice though, because I ache myself out. It really cringes me. My own voice cringes me so badly.
Oh, yeah. Not well, yeah.
I'm really upset now.
Not well, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't mean well, yeah, but I have this...
So, weight and body talk. Let's get into it.
So, with this being the first episode of well, it's not the first episode, so you've really thrown me off.
Sorry. Well, okay.
But basically, because, that one was filmed in September.
We lost it.
It went walkabouts.
It did.
And then it returned to us. We thought it's quite a good one to talk about. And to be fair, it was on our list of episode plans anyway.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
It was, because it is ridiculous.
It's constant, and it's actually it's only ramped up in January. It's not. It's everywhere all
of
the time.
But I have seen so much this January. I don't know whether I'm more like attuned to it, but I am like, it's been so like blatant this January.
I feel
like thoroughly blatant.
Yeah.
Like literally, open TikTok. If you see my Instagram story where I was ranting about that because that was so inappropriate, really. And then but there was in between. Pat was watching some kind of Christmas television. I don't know what channel. Doesn't matter. No naming and shaming. Well, I would if I could remember which one it was. And it literally, the over voice person, who does the things in between the programs, was like, literally said something about like overeating.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it's ridiculous.
Shut up.
Actually,
no one invited you to the party. And that's why you're being the voice over Christmas.
Mouth.
Because you're not invited to the party because you're just fat shaming people.
Left, right, and centre. No, I've had so many like TikTok adverts as well.
Literally.
On, like,
not interested, not interested, not interested, not interested, not interested, not interested. My finger is pressing that not interested button faster
than Usain Bolt.
Oh yeah, it's a fast finger.
It's ridiculous,
bonkers, and it's not okay because yes, we want to preface this. We need to put a content warning.
Content warning.
Not now. Well, it's a bit late now, but anyway, moving on.
You already did put a content warning at the start.
Did I? What a cutie.
Did you not notice that in your 20-minute ramble? Rude. I don't know. You said we've got to preface this, and then
preface
content warning.
Yes, preface this by saying that health is very important, and we are not here as doctors. Unsurprisingly, we both go to musical theatre school. Like, let's be real. But wait, no. So
I don't know. I could be a doctor.
You're not a doctor. Absolutely not.
No, for legal reasons, I'm not a doctor.
For more than legal reasons, she's not.
For legal reasons, I did my first aid training the other day, and it made me feel violently unwell. Looking at all of these first aid things, I thought I'm not cut out for this life.
No, and that's why you're doing acting. But. And there is, and here we are not here to speak about, obviously, there are medical reasons why potentially managing your weight is important. And this is not what this podcast is talking about. This is not talking about people never needing or having or wanting to lose weight. This has got nothing to do with that. This is a podcast talking about the negative, constant focus on weight and body.
Yes.
Rather than the
kind of unnecessary side of it, rather than...
It's all nuanced, and absolutely there are, it's a very personal and individual thing, and that is between you, your body, and maybe a medical professional if they're not an idiot.
But then that's quite...
Hence, they're not an idiot. So, let's go into personal stories.
Oh, Christ.
As someone who has very much struggled with eating disorders, disordered eating.
Content warning, trigger warning, all the warnings.
Yeah, which needs to go at the beginning. Unlike Millie in the car yesterday, who did the trigger warning after she'd already said the things.
About 5 times as well.
Iconic. I think it can be such a hard time, but I think it's not just for people who struggled with kind of food and eating disorders. And it's interesting, like, I think when you've had an eating disorder or have an eating disorder.
Sorry, I just clipped it into my finger and it really hurt.
Oh dear.
Now I've dropped it.
You become more aware of the just constant talk of body and weight and all of those things. It's just like absolutely bonkers. And I think, this whole, and absolutely, when we both spoke in our episodes about like New Year, and I think there's definitely a real good like aspect of like being a fresh start, and like we've all had fresh starts, and it's really important to like start to have like a clean slate. But I think I just find it so annoying and frustrating, the just constant speak of like
mainly also because people just, it's like white noise. They're not even actually meaning what they're saying half the time.
No, they're just chatting absolute nonsense.
Well, it's already gonna have to be an explicit warning on anyway, so might as well.
What, because I said the word bloody?
No, because it's about eating disorders.
Okay.
I think that's probably slightly more. We don't want any unsuspecting.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, no, I didn't forget about that, but...
Okay, moving on. So, I...
Can you tell who's social media trained and who's not?
Okay, body talk. How old were you when you think you were first aware, not aware of your body, as in like, oh, I've got a body, but aware of like your, I'm gonna say this not in then yeah, I hope this comes with this like your size, your body, not in like, you know what I mean. I'm not,
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I do know what you mean, Hannah.
just like, triggering the fellow podcast host.
Yeah.
When were you
That's
aware
all
of your
this
body
is.
size?
Do you know what? Really?
Yesterday.
Do you know what? Yesterday.
I have a body.
I turned around and realised
I have a body.
I actually have a body. No, very young. And I was thinking this because I was thinking, whenever I think about it, I normally think around 8, and then I had a weird like memory come back to me.
And she
of
came
when
out
I
of the
was
womb.
much younger, and I was like, oh shit. Oh, sorry, I'm just swearing all the time
fine.
now.
You can swear.
That was actually a lot younger than 8. So
It is. It's crazy, and it's interesting. There are children now, young as 5, going into hospital for eating disorders, which I think is obviously speaks to a very.
I find it horrific.
It's really horrific
because
I think as people who have been there, like know the, obviously when it comes to eating disorders, it's not about the food and the body. It's obviously the underlying issues that cause food and body to become the thing that you control. But we know the kind of the pain and the emotions that are attached to like how you feel, and to think of like someone as young as 5, like that happening to is just crazy. And I think when people say like, why is this happening? Obviously,
because you won't shut up because you're putting bloody calories on menus, and because you're being absolute morons. Like, do you see the society we're living in right now? It's horrific for people like that.
And I think it's so interesting because obviously when it comes to eating disorders, there are obviously, again, not a doctor, and the reason someone develops an eating disorder or disordered eating, but first we're going on to the eating disorders, and we'll talk more about disordered eating and like more like general society. There are, it's not always the like for me, I know that my eating problems were not linked to initially to like the body talk, which both are equally valid reasons.
Whereas on the other side, mine were.
And I think that's what's really good about us doing this episode and like having touch, because first of all, to preface, and I think there can definitely be this really ridiculous narrative alongside any mental health problem that like the cause somehow makes one more valid than the other. It doesn't. It's all shit. Let's all just get a grip. So
do you know what? No one's having a fun time, okay?
No one's loving this.
It doesn't actually matter what the cause is.
But I think we are going to talk maybe a bit.
It does in a dealing with it.
Yes, but
it does, but
not in a hierarchical sense.
Yeah,
and I think that's something that we should maybe talk a bit about now, because we both do come from those very different aspects of like yours and mine, and then I think because mine developed nothing to do with that, but then obviously as I got older, that didn't help.
Yeah,
because obviously it like then it
but
exacerbates
also,
it.
I can imagine. Obviously, because mine started from a very body conscious side of things. I can imagine for you it would have been hard for it starting not as that, but then because everything everywhere will have been telling you that, will have been talking about bodies and weight, and then also,
I mean, it's definitely would have been linked. Like, obviously, it's not that at all, because obviously the reason why, like, a lot of like mine, I look back, and obviously there's lots of reasons, some of which If you just broken the mind.
No.
Not some of the reasons I'm not necessarily going to discuss or able to discuss now, but I know, like, looking back, a lot of my eating disorder came from wanting to be smaller and that to kind of disappear and to be hidden and to also be looked after and, like, being kind of not having to have that responsibility of, like, life. And a lot of it very much linked to trauma. And I think, but how my brain saw that, like, smaller was, like, the answer to that. But I remember, like, one of my vivid memories when it was like everybody was lined up in year 5 and we were lined up for assembly, and I remember we were all like, and I remember just, like, vividly looking, being like, I want to be the smallest person, like, weight wise, at like 9, 10, and like, and then also I wanted to have smaller feet.
No, I'm with you in that, actually.
And I think that narrative of just, like...
But do you know what I think, and I think about this so much, is that when we were little, I don't know if it was the same with you.
You've seen the videos of me when I was little, the hair.
But, like, in primary school and growing up, and to a certain point, it was always, like, really impressive that you were, like, growing up the fastest.
Yeah.
If you were like, yeah, well, actually, I'm at age 11 in clothes.
Yeah, and then it suddenly
and then
changes.
Suddenly wasn't cool anymore.
Which I think...
Not okay.
And that's so interesting because mine was before, while it was still cool to be bigger, I went, and that's, I think, was my, like, the trauma aspect. But then it's like you go into, like, year 6 and then it's like people want boobs.
People want boobs. People want acne. Like, people are just gagging
for
acne.
Puberty.
I remember we were all, like, obsessed. We were obsessed with getting spots. We'd be, like, rubbing faces. It was really quite messed up.
Right. That's
and then but that's the thing. It's always like the grass is always greener, but is it? No.
Not on the acne front.
No, I know. We were really, I don't know. There was really such a, like, focus about growing up.
If anyone is listening to this, and I need to know if anybody else really wanted acne, because it was not something that I've ever experienced.
Maybe not acne, but spots.
Okay, well, yeah, well, spots, yeah. Because they probably wouldn't have really known what acne was. Like,
no.
I'm interested. I'm really interested to see if anyone else did. That's just, I really need to know that information. But anyway, back to the constant body talk. And I think, like, it's so systemic. And I think that's the thing, that it's not, you know... Firstly, I mean, I used to always say, like, surely it's not, like, that explicit. It actually is that explicit. Like, it literally... It sounds ridiculous, but if you... don't necessarily tune into it, because that's not necessarily very healthy or helpful. But when you tune into it, you think, no, it really is as obvious as people just yapping on it. But apparently, right, this is what my mum's a primary school teacher, and she said that, like, not now, not at her school, because I know people do listen from her school. I'm not saying it's you now, to clarify, but they used to, like, they would weigh in staff rooms. They would weigh. Like, every week. Like, teachers would weigh themselves every week in front of each other. I don't know why. I'd have to ask Beverly why. Oh, I'll ask her.
Odd.
I know. Isn't that bizarre? Like, you think, like, what a weird concept that, like, as a staff, like, I don't know, like, what was it, part of the staff meeting? Who knows? And we will clarify some information from Beverly here. I don't think because my mum, obviously, having been someone who had an eating disorder, who was hospitalised for their eating disorder, and who, obviously, they send the parents, I say obviously as if, like, everyone would know this, but they send the parents because they automatically assume that it's basically the mothers who also have tricky relationships with food. And I know in a lot of my friends' cases that has definitely been the case, and there's absolutely no shame or anything like that. I was, as always, a weird case, because let's be real, when am I not a weird case? And my mum truly does have the most, like...
Beverly is absolutely iconic.
She has, like, the best relationship with food, and not in, like, as in, like, oh, she's just, like, really healthy. She's not healthy, to clarify again. Like, literally, Beverly's gonna be listening to this, and, like, her colleagues are like, oh my god, like, but she, like, she just has a really good relationship with food. Like, it's always been the case, and obviously, like, there has been other people in my family who haven't had that, but my mum really has, like, had such. But I went to a charity, and they when like they had the parents there and like about like, the dolphin method of parenting for like people with eating disorders. There's a whole methodology all linked to animals, because you've got panda parenting for PDA. Beverly's been through them all. Hidden chimp.
Panda parent.
Yeah, we'll ring her later because she can tell you about it. But
this is why we need to get Beverly on the pod.
Beverly will get on the pod when she stops working constantly. It's actually really relevant, and I've lost.
You were talking about sending.
Sending parents to these like groups, and then when my mum was there, they were just a bit like, your relationship with food is too chill. Like, how she developed an eating disorder. Classic. Like, Beverly's like a few other issues. But I think that thing of it just is this constant,
and it's so.
It is just
what I think though. Because even though I can see it all now, and like I can see all of the talk, and I have so much more understanding now, I'm thinking there is so much that, like, especially when you're thinking about the younger generation and like very young people, and you're thinking, how is it getting to them? But it is because it's literally everywhere. And as soon as you're kind of, you don't even have to be.
No,
you can tune it out to the best of your ability, and it'll still be there. But when you really tune in, you realise just how like.
And I think there is that narrative of like, when you look at eating disorders, and when people think about eating disorders, they think of, you know, anorexia, whereas anorexia is actually I don't know the statistics off the top of my head, and I could find it out, but it's not the most common eating disorder by a long shot. And actually, relationships with food, obviously, like especially when you come to like binge eating disorder and that thing of like, you know, that is just as obviously like dangerous as any kind of disordered relationship with food. And yeah, you know, if you saw the way people treat people who overeat is horrific.
Yeah.
But it's not viewed in the same. It's the same illness.
People don't.
It's fat phobia.
Well, yeah.
I think the inherent fat phobia and the systemic fat phobia that continues. It's interesting that it's because it's so normalized, people don't realize. Like, having had conversations with people who are not in like, and I think me and my mum talk about this a lot, the fact that because we're in this world, like obviously having me struggled for so long, we're very hyper aware of it. And actually, the majority of people do just talk about these things and not having real like, and people aren't doing it deliberately. I'm not thinking, right, I'm gonna trigger someone and like make them become really ill and wanting to like hate their body. But like, you just talk about all the time, like just the simple thing of like, I think, you know, I'll give an example, like obviously a bit of a extra content warning. Like you sit at the Christmas dinner table and you've had, you know, your Christmas lunch, and then someone goes, oh, you know, I've eaten so much, you know, I'm not going to eat again. Like, in reality, of course they're going to eat again because, like, well, first of all, they're still actually picking at the roasties across the table. So, like, you're eating now, babe.
Wait until the Christmas pudding comes out.
And then they're going to have the
cheese and crackers.
And then the leftovers for tea, which is Beverly's favourite part. This woman makes turkey, like, she can make that turkey last for about 48 years.
That's me with the cheese.
But you and Beverly get on like a house on fire because she loves the cheese. Like, this is, again, a thing of, like, how it is a social construct, my favourite concept, because literally my mum is making the Christmas lunch and she's going, oh, what I really wanted was a turkey sandwich in the evening. And you're like, I mean, obviously she made it because it was a family like thing.
Yeah.
But like, if you don't want to eat the Christmas lunch, don't make a Christmas lunch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just bonkers that like there's no pressure to like. And I think that's the thing with food. It's really tricky because obviously everybody's situation is nuanced, and you know, no one else ever knows the full story of someone else's food intake, and it's not anyone else's business. And I would say, apart from the doctors, but unfortunately we know that the doctors have there can be a lot of fat phobia in the medical profession. So that's tricky, but you know, can't cure everything on one day, so we just have to battle one thing at a time.
We'll get on to that next. Don't worry, we'll fix that next.
One problem at a time. But I think it's interesting because obviously, first of all, just like a car, the classic phrase.
Oh, don't.
I know. You have to fuel your body because like that's what you need. And that's like end of, no ifs or buts. And however you get that and how you get the right nutrients is how that works for you. Then there comes on to the thing of like food as a social thing. Right. So imagine this. Hannah in hospital. I don't need to imagine that. And I'm not going to go into any details, but because all the details do give context, not appropriate. And having been someone who is in hospital for an eating disorder, and the staff around are discussing their specific drink, which we are not going to name the drink, but you know what the drink I'm talking about is.
I do know what the drink you're talking
about.
As
someone sat in a hospital bed with a eating disorder and who is very much struggling, the people around are discussing how they're going to just be drinking such a drink. That is bonkers.
It is bonkers.
And this is when I say that it's so systemic, because also having that wasn't actually on an eating disorder specific place, but having been on an eating disorder specific ward, and anyone who's been or hasn't been, don't go. It's not. It doesn't.
Don't go.
It doesn't validate your. Obviously, if you need to go. But like, it doesn't validate your eating disorder. You are no more sick or more valid because you have been in hospital. It is not. It's not a determination of your illness at all. But anyway, regardless of my thoughts on eating disorder units, you bring it back to just like everyday society, and it's just this constant bombardment. Like, and I think it's got into the mainstream media as well, like not just social media.
Do you know what plays in my head all the bloody time, which is really frustrating? And actually, I'm coming for you. I don't even know what they were. You know the little clay people that used to be really about like all the health things, and they were like different colours.
Oh my!
And they used to sing a song. This is extra content warning here.
Yeah.
Under 100 calorie snacks, 2 a day max. And that plays in my head every day.
Yeah.
At least once a day. Every day. And every day I have to think.
No.
I have to be honest, I look at food and I think, are you really going to tell me I can't have a chocolate bar because it's over 100 calories? Really?
You little clay people. And I think
that drives me.
And it's hard. And I suppose, and it's interesting because another thing that really, and this winds my mum up as well, is so in school, they have the weigh-ins for reception in year 6.
Yeah.
So they community weigh people. It is attached to a computer, so they don't see the weight. But I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, I remember the year 6 weigh-in, absolute trauma of the century.
Yeah.
And I think, but let's play devil's advocate as someone who, is an incredibly passionate eating disorder advocate, so therefore is not, but, we have to, absolutely, there is a health implication of not feeding your body the correct nutrients both ways.
Yeah.
And absolutely, there is education needed for parents, for people, on how to ensure that your body is the best it can be. If you just eat chocolate all day, or you just eat carrots all day, that is not healthy. It is about balance. And yes, I suppose there is going to be people maybe who don't understand or don't realise about nutrition, and so therefore having the messages. But
what I find difficult to believe is that there are people out there who don't understand the implications. I think there's so much. This is the thing that gets me. There's so much education and so much focus on nutrition and eating the right things. And it's everywhere and it's constant, this whole thing that you need to be a certain weight and your BMI, which don't even get me started on BMIs.
No,
actually like
created when people used to take cocaine.
Yeah. Also, there are so many things. There is like, we will link something about why BMIs are rubbish because
from an actual healthcare professional, not just a drama student,
just us. But
angry drama student.
And you look at all of the stuff that is out there, and I think if the government, if we all just spent. Because I think the issue is not actually nutrition. I think everybody by now is well aware of the nutrition things, but I think all the nutrition things have
capitalism
fed into disordered eating, not necessarily eating disorders. I'm not here to say that everyone on the planet has eating disorders.
They don't have an eating disorder.
No.
But having an eating disorder is not better than having disordered eating. Not that, like, you know what I mean?
No,
like, it doesn't make
you anything.
It's not smart.
It's not quite
and
stupid,
it's not
actually.
clever.
But
But I think if we spent half the time that the world spends focusing on nutrition and weight and body talk, and if we put that energy and time into talking about healthy in terms of not disordered eating and mentality around food, we'd solve all our issues.
The thing is, it just as when we look at any, you know what? It comes back to Wicked, actually. Difference. People do not like difference. People do not like people who are different. And we, unfortunately, we live in a society created by white men, for white men. And therefore, it has got all to do with capitalism in terms of the fact that to eat healthy, and I don't care, I know it is inherently ableist, classist. To eat healthy is harder. If you come on a low income, whether if you have to work multiple jobs, if you are disabled and you don't have enough energy to, or for many reasons why eating is really hard in today's society, and then you add in the fact that actually the narrative around it is never or isn't about health. No. It is about inherent fat phobia. And obviously, I can't sit here and as someone who, that's not my place to talk about because as that's something I haven't experienced. But I think that's really tricky. And I think it links to so many other, issues when it comes to society, unfortunately, and when I say society, I put myself within that because if we talk about these things as in they're not us, we are all part of that. And if we remove ourselves from that, then we remove that responsibility that we all have to collectively work together to make change. We're going to go on to tips in a second of like what we've done ourselves. But the main thing is, I would say, to take anything away from kind of this conversation is to check yourself into, what you're saying. And then on the other kind of side of that, if you are someone who has struggled or feels that responsibility, like not responsibility, but like pressure on yourself to get help early. And I know it's really hard, but know that you are not more or less valid by the way you look.
So we're going to talk a bit about how to deal with it, because right now and
it's personal. I'll put one eye. It's personal, but these are some of the things that we've done. Well, I say we, it's actually Millie.
I think one of the things, and I feel like me and you are we go in one direction, I think.
Together, the same direction?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited to know this.
When someone makes a comment, you've got to decide whether it's best for you to unpick the comment or ignore the comment. Now, when I say that, I'm not a confrontational person. I'm not going to unpick the comment to the person, but afterwards, you best know Hannah's on the phone and I'm going, well,
yeah,
let me tell you. In the moment, I'm an ignore, but afterwards, I'm an unpick.
And both of which are valid. Obviously, not fighting people. Don't violence.
That's why I said unpick, guys. Let's not be. I just mean like.
But I think what you're saying.
You know what I'm on about.
I think you're is in for you as a person to then to know whether that comment is for something that you can that would for your mental well-being is better and got nothing to do with anybody else.
No.
To just move on with and pretend not pretend it didn't happen, but you're able to ignore, or is it something that actually you want to debrief on and go through? And I think that's a really personal decision, and having people who you are able to unpick that with, and in different ways,
choosing your audience as well with who you're going to unpick it with.
I'm good. That's why she chooses me.
Hannah's very good, and I also know that me and Hannah can have a conversation that can be quite jokey but deal with quite heavy topics, whereas I wouldn't necessarily go to somebody else.
Yeah, and that's nothing to do with friendships.
Also, because as much as anything else, you don't want to be triggering anyone else.
No.
Whereas I know,
Hannah's
hard as I might try,
Hannah's untriggerable.
I'm not breaking Hannah.
No,
I'm not cracking that shell.
not in respect to that, we know there are other ways to crack me. Got a bit get a bit angry about a lot of things, get a bit triggered about, I don't know, most things, but not in that way. No, absolutely.
You get triggered, but not like...
No, not in a way that's detrimental to it. And I think that is that. And that's really important and valid. And actually, you know, it is that awkward thing that's not spoken about, but as much and absolutely like your feelings and your things are valid. So are other people's. In us getting help, we shouldn't hurt other people, basically. And then on a similar note as a tip, like, this is on a slightly different angle. This is such a me thing, of being a confrontational person, of like whether it's not worth that's the wrong word, but addressing it with the person who's saying it, whether it's not. And like, I do have the attitude of like, I would just confront everybody, and absolutely, you know, obviously, first of all, doing it in the correct way, and not about blame and shame, because, you know, but that also that thing of like knowing sometimes when to save your breath, because some people are not going to get it, they're not going to understand, and actually you're going to get more upset by trying to explain to them. Go on then, Millie, next tip.
I think, well, actually linked to that,
There's a link.
Victoria Garrick Brown on TikTok.
Have you? I don't know who they are.
She was somebody I found at the very start of my recovery journey.
Beautiful.
And she is very good, and she makes a lot of videos. This is why I thought of it. She makes really good videos of like how to gently stop the comments, like gently put your boundaries in place. Because I think my next tip
boundaries,
is, like, understanding your boundaries and how to articulate your boundaries. Hannah's, you can't see the face Hannah's pulling right now.
Yeah, because I'm really pleased that you're learning about boundaries.
Yeah, I know what boundaries are.
No, I know you know what boundaries are, but like learning how to put your boundaries in place. I
was going to say, I'm yeah, okay, I'm a professional now.
You do need to have some boundaries.
I do. I have lots of boundaries.
Yeah, good. You're a beautiful soul. Your energy is radiant.
Hannah's got some lovely quotes here for us of ways that you can compliment someone without being
gender neutral and not body appearance based. But you do your tips first. I'm going to end on my beautiful comments.
I think, is that all my tips? Well, no.
Two tips.
Knowing your boundary.
Sorry. You know what? That wasn't very positive.
Okay. But I feel like we've encompassed most of the tips.
Probably.
So knowing your boundaries, understanding like where your limits lie, and also like how to articulate them, which that's where I'm not going to be your person to go to, and Hannah probably will be more.
Yeah.
How to articulate your boundaries. How do you block it out? But then I guess that's
not interested. Do click not interested on TikTok. And I'm saying, like,
I don't do that.
I do, and I've started now.
If it catches me in the wrong mood, it's getting reported.
I've done that thing of like boundaries, especially like now this year and more recent. I am just like protecting my energy. If I see a video on TikTok and I click not interested because they're ramming down my throat some kind of special £9,000 scales that are going to tell me the inside of my organs, I don't care. I'm not interested. I really am not interested. I'm just not interested.
Can we talk about 75 Hard?
Yes.
You seen that?
I have seen 75 Hard.
Because do you know what I love about 75 Hard though?
I've not even really looked at it. I'm saying I know what you're on.
Do you know what? For some people, brilliant. Like, bring it on.
Sorry, is it? Can I just actually clarify? Because I've just agreed that I know what it is, but actually,
it's 75 days where you have to do 2 workouts and you have to go for a 5-mile run. And you have to read 10 pages of a non-fiction book every day. And
gosh, yes.
It's basically, but
I'm looking at it now.
For some people, absolutely brilliant. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, some people, that's right up their street.
I think, you know what I've seen? When people have like taken this thing on like 75 Hard, like different editions.
Yes, this is what I'm about to say. Well done, Hannah. We're connected. But I love the fact that they've taken something that
negative and made it positive.
Yeah.
But like me and the bingo.
Not necessarily negative, because I understand, like, there are people, like, I know people who would... Some people do enjoy fitness, and that is amazing. But 75 Hard is not something we all need to be doing. I did a ballet class. I did my own version of 75 Hard last year, at the end of last year, where I basically made my own rules. And I said, I'm going to try and do this for 75 days to try and, like, implement habits. And was it perfect? No.
Do you know what I've just seen though? You have to have a gallon of water. I've not drunk water in so long. It's really bad. I need to drink more water.
Yesterday.
I did, I know, because my tutor told me I need to drink water.
Anyway, I just wanted to bring up 75 hard. I really wish I was the kind of person who could do 75 hard. Though,
I think that
and it not be like detrimental.
But
to
I think it's
mental
that
well-being.
And I suppose actually it comes back to that thing of like not doing it because other people, doing it because it's what you need to do, what you think is right, and what works for your body. So to finish, because we've literally yapped for an hour.
It's been good though.
It's been good. I am going to end on some not body positive. Although, actually,
we haven't spoken about body positivity and body neutrality. Actually, we kept promising that we would.
I'm coming back with my body neutrality. So the difference between body positivity and body neutrality, according to this random Instagram post, is body positivity. All people should love and be able to love their bodies as they are. Body acceptance movement. Your body is beautiful regardless of what society says. And the idea of body neutrality is that your appearance shouldn't determine your value. It's still the body acceptance movement, and that thing of like loving your body is hard, and that's okay. You don't have to love the way you look all of the time. Instead, on focusing on how your body looks, focus on what your body does for you. So I guess it's that thing of like,
I've always thought of it as body positivity is the dream. Body neutrality is the bare minimum.
Yeah,
and not in terms of, I'm not saying like if you're not body neutral, then you're not good enough. I just mean that's what you've got to work towards, being the bare minimum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I don't think about my body.
Yeah, well, that's great.
But not in like I think if I do think about it.
But I don't know, like, that, again, that's, for
Hannah
me,
needs a professional.
kind of, that's not for everyone, I guess.
Do we want some body neutral affirmations to end today? Yes, my body is my home. My self-worth is not tied to my appearance. My body deserves respect. My body is where I live, not who I am. Interesting. My body is allowed to change. I will listen to my body's needs. My body is inherently wise. Mine isn't. Flipping heck. My body is filled with love. I deserve to rest. And then...
Right, you can't do them with the afterwards.
Sorry, I don't mean that. And then, Millie, I'm going to give you some lovely nothing to do with body, gender neutral things to say. Millie, are you ready?
Yeah.
You are radiant. You inspire me. You're so sunshiny.
Oh.
You're uplifting. You're vibrant. Your energy is unmatched. You are so thoughtful. Your joy is contagious. Time spent with you is the best. You're insightful. You are just what this world needs. Your courage is empowering. You inspire me. I always feel comfortable being myself around you. I love your willingness to be yourself. And my favourite one, I feel safe with you.
That is your favourite one. Can we also just say we had to sift through a lot of ones that we thought, and I think that's actually vomit-inducing.
But there are so many ways and of complimenting people or showing that isn't, how someone looks. But I suppose it's that thing of actually, when it fundamentally comes down to it, what makes you you and what makes you amazing is the person you are, and it doesn't matter what the outside package that comes with that. So to anyone who has been affected by the culture of body talk, we want to remind you that your value is not determined by your weight. No. And you do not need to conform to anyone's standards of beauty. It's okay to take up space and be exactly who you are. Your body is your own, and it deserves respect, care, and compassion. And if you are someone or know someone who is struggling with an eating disorder or body image issues, it is okay to ask for help. Recovery is possible.
Please do ask for help.
And support is out there. And we will try and remember, aka me, to link some resources to Beat and other places like that. Yeah. So, as we go into the new year, let us commit to being kinder to ourselves.
Hell yeah.
Stop the harmful cycle of constant weight talk and body-focused conversations, and let's celebrate what makes us who we are.
But also, let's not set unrealistic goals. We're not going to get rid of this in a year, but we're going to try.
Oh, I'm going to get rid of it in my own brain for a year. Like, I'm not going to let anyone talk to me about their diets.
Stop.
I will. I'll just scream.
Stop. Don't talk to me.
Every more time someone
loser,
tells me
never.
that, they're going to eat one grape for the rest of the year, I'm going to scream.
I'm not sure how much you're going to be screaming
Well,
with that specific phrase, but
well, I was going to go further, but then I decided that was inappropriate. But we hope you have enjoyed today's episode. If you have, please do like, subscribe,
and share this podcast
share
to anyone who you think might.
Literally everybody,
like
because
it.
quite frankly, body talk is
I think
everywhere.
let us get it to everyone.
I do appreciate
Send it to the auntie that was being a pain at Christmas dinner.
Yeah. This isn't, I will completely agree that this podcast is not for everybody, and absolutely that's okay. But this episode is. Live, laugh, love. Bye, everybody.
Bye.